Hello, ROI Club members and fellow Mavericks. Quick update today, very brief video. I'm going to overview the stocks that I have analyzed and shared with this particular group. We're going to view those performance. Important announcement as to Transocean. I'm actually completely sold out of that particular stock, and I'm going to talk about why that's important. And I'm going to just go over the benefits that you get between the two memberships. So let's get into that. Sorry for the hectic schedule. I'm moving and all sorts of things are going on. I'm really enjoying the wonderful things that are happening in my life, and I hope you are too. So disclaimer, nothing I say is advice. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first. So you guys that are ROI Club members, I'll be publishing this video and my notes in this particular publication, and then I'll share the link with the Mavericks. Okay, so members of the Maverick Life. Here's what you need to understand. If you are a full paying yearly member of the Maverick Life, you get free access to the ROI Club included in your membership. Okay, I just give it to you. You're going to see how valuable this is in just a moment when I share with you what the underlying stocks have done since I shared the analysis. So, two lads were kind enough this week to join the Maverick Life. Thank you very much. Yearly memberships. Why that's important is because they're currently 50% off. Okay, so for God's sake, if you're interested, now would be the time to sign up for the yearly, because the monthly is like $85 or something. No, that's with the conversion. So I think it's around $50, and so the yearly is $2.99 when you just pay up front. Okay, so it's ridiculously good value, guys. Compounding at 6-7% return per month. The ROI Club is included in that. Okay, so if you're an ROI Club member and you want to check out the Maverick Life, you can do a free trial. And if you're a Mav Life member and you don't already have access to the ROI Club, put a comment in the comments section. So Owen, you sent me an email. I'm sorry about that. It went to my spam folder and I just wasn't thinking to check it. So sorry for being 4 or 5 days late on that. But you should be good to go with full access. And Stephen, I think you were another one. So you should have full access. Any issues, hit me up. If I don't reply, hit up the comment section, because then I'll definitely get a notification. Sometimes it goes to spam folder and things get weird. So having said that, let's take a look at the performances. So in the ROI Club, I've been giving out analyses on certain things that I think are interesting. Most of the time, I try and make it at least one business analysis a month, if not more. Sometimes there are a few crazy options plays that we've seen. The business case for these mostly are stocks I'm looking at buying. Sometimes it's just a pure valuation, and then the price is too expensive. Okay, so before I talk about the performance, it's important to understand I may be in these. I may not own them necessarily at the time. I may be trading in and out, and Transocean is a good example. Or I'm sorry, Whitehaven's an even better example of that. These are fundamental analyses that I'm listing and following a theoretical, equally weighted, just performance tracking. That's all this is. This is not a portfolio that I manage live. There's my etoro portfolio for that, which you guys can copy using that function. There's my professional hedge fund, and then there's the Maverick Life Options Income Fund. So those are the options for you. So just understand, I may change this in terms of I may own a stock, I may sell it, or I may add to it without necessarily notifying you. So please, please, please do your own due diligence. This is just me listing out my theories and putting them in a spreadsheet. I don't manage this actively. Having said that, today we're going to look at the performance. So everything here is up since the date of publication, okay, except for Whitehaven Coal and for BW Energy. Whitehaven has dished out a lot of dividends. I should update that, but it'd still be slightly down. Well, all I wanted to mention was I am now exiting Transocean. Chapman Scarver and I had a discussion, when was that, a couple of days ago, and we were talking about how we're not particularly comfortable with how long it's going to take them to get their new ship on the water. So they've acquired a ship, and it's going to take something like 9 months, and their budget does not really add up. We think that it's going to cost a lot more than what they thought to get that thing out on the water. In addition to which, they've also undergone a dilution, a shareholders dilution, And so it's just not really got a few question marks. So I've already made a ton of money on Transocean and Transocean call options and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to mark in this group here. I'm going to put a line through Transocean, just to say, just so it's clear. Okay, again, I don't manage this, so people need to really understand. This is just me writing up investment cases and putting them out there and seeing what happens, for fun more than anything. That's the important announcement as to Transocean. Everything else, things are going just superbly. Petrobras dividend needs to be updated, and Ecopetrol dividend is going to be another. It's going to be another dollar. It's even over a dollar with the Colombian peso having strengthened quite a bit. So expect me on Twitter to have my Colombian cowboy hat on in the 5th of October when that comes through. I'd be very, very happy indeed. Quick look at the charts. This is over year to date. Okay. And again, now the performance will be staggered depending on the data publication, depending on when one would theoretically enter these particular positions. However, just looking at the names on the list and year to date, whether or not that lines up with their particular data publication is another story. I've only got 3 slightly in the negative, and I'm very happy with all of those particular purchases. BW Energy is having some negative press right now because there's a coup going on in Gabon. Bloody coups everywhere at the moment, it seems. But this is a company that is set to significantly increase their oil production at a very low lift cost in the offshore space. It's it's got a high ownership of institutional and managerial interests. And so it's not a very liquid stock. There might be quite a bit of volatility. I think this is still certainly worth owning, and on any down days, I may add to it. I'm already fairly well positioned. The only other thing I would add was that there may be some changes to the royalty agreements with their oil contracts. So if the new gentleman in charge over there in Gabon, the paradise that it is, if they decide to change some of the royalty rates, maybe the company makes a little bit less money. I don't see any reason as to why they'd try. This is their lifeblood, so I don't see any reason why they'd try and mess with their contracts too much, because they have too much to lose. But we'll have to keep an eye on it, and it's a real risk. Okay. So far, my thoughts on Global Atomic seem to be playing out, but I mean, that's obviously there's so much that can happen there. Who the hell knows what's going to happen at the end of the day? Which is why I only own a very small amount of short puts. And giving time for the uranium market to bid it up. The uranium market's going through the roof at the moment, so maybe I'll close those puts out early at a nice little profit, and then I'll see what's available. So interestingly, this year, best performers basically neck and neck: Tidewater and Petrobras. Tidewater was just ridiculously cheap. Petrobras also with more of a capital returns program. For a super major to perform like that over a 9-month period, it just speaks to how damn cheap that thing was when I was banging the table talking about it, and not all that many people were interested. It's crazy. I still think Petrobras is fairly cheap, but anyway, that's just a personal opinion. Transocean has already done wonderful things since I started buying options on the stock and buying the stock back in 2021. So I'm willing to just kind of sit this out a little bit and see what happens. If it were to drop down a lot after the dilution, then maybe I'd think about staggering some options after that. Who knows? It'll all depend. Right now, I'm pretty damn keen to rotate a lot of capital into those companies that can both compound and have a mix of shareholder returns. So that would look like Ecopetrol, super cheap, with huge yields for shareholder returns. Journey Energy continues to compound, and AEE. There's more and more pressure happening in Sweden for uranium mining to be, I guess, decriminalized or to be made legal, and that thing's just gonna absolutely rip. Their deposits outside of Sweden also are trading at fractions of their net present value. Speaking on the theme of uranium and Sweden, DMX is another ticker that I had. It's a highly speculative play. That's all it was for me. I made a multi-bagger on it. and it's since continued to go. But that's an interesting name to keep an eye on. The market cap was like, I don't know, 10 or 12 million when I started buying into it. I remember I was in Argentina and I started to accumulate it in February, March this year. And yeah, so that's a pure liquidity play. So the ROI Club, this is what you get. You get those deep analyses that you can go into. DHT is also giving out double-digit dividend returns that I think is trading at a discount to its true net asset value. A lot of people excited on the tanker space over the next few years. I think it'll be up and down. At the moment, they're selling off a little bit, mainly due to OPEC production cuts. So there's, in theory, less oil needed, or less crude, or less product needed to be shipped from the Middle East or the Persian Gulf to China. Demand still stays still seems very, very strong in China. The way I've structured my portfolio, I'm not worried about that at all, because if OPEC cuts and really puts a floor under the oil price, then all my producers are going to be absolutely churning out cash left, right, and center. So yeah, that's a bit of a controversial one. Not everyone is keen on the tanker space. I like very certain names. Another one which will be released to the ROI Club members this month. So with the ROI Club, that's that. If you have any suggestions for it, please do give me some feedback. If you have anything in particular you would like me to cover, of course, please let me know, and I'll do my best to cover that. And if you're watching and you're not a member of the Maverick Life, this is what it is. It's an income-related fund where I am looking to generate roughly 2.8% per month in a manner that spits out lots of cash. So mainly using options trades. You can sign up for a free trial and get the gist of it, but I give you everything. Screenshots, the trade actions, the brokerage statements are screenshotted and put it on there. Not like other people that you may know, you may have seen me with in the past. I am not full of shit. Everything you see is what you get. So I think people are really appreciating that. The performance is tracked live. So it's all there. It's all there for $300 a year, and for like $50 a month if you're still not sure. It's a no-brainer with the ROI Club membership thrown in. If you're a member of the ROI Club and you want to join the Mav Life, let me know and I'll give you an additional special deal on top of that. Otherwise, that's all I wanted to say. Didn't want to make it too long. Please do be aware that the idea of the ROI Club is to get my analyses and my due diligence and my thoughts. Obviously, as the reason for me tracking the performance of the names mentioned is to test how my ideas are more than anything else. But please understand, it may not be a real-time reflection of my portfolio holdings. Okay, if you want a real-time reflection, there are two ways you can do that as a private investor. You can copy the portfolio, have an etoro, looking for a long-term compounding deep value portfolio. That's the one. If you are looking to see what I'm up to in terms of creating options and generating a shitload of income from a very small base, that's the challenge. That's the whole project of the Maverick Life. And then the rest I have in my professional investment fund. Okay. So that's that. So I just want to make that clear. I don't want someone to be just copying this blindly, because this may change and I may change it. It's just to test, are my ideas on track over time? That is it. Okay. So having said that, wish you all very well. Any questions, hit me up. If I don't reply to an email, drop a comment, and because it may be that I've missed it and it's gone to the spam folder. Otherwise, wish you all the very best, and I'll catch up with you shortly.